My name is Scott Kilgore, and I was sentenced to tip court a little over 2 years ago. I graduated May 10th. I made it a little hard on myself. I had a lot of support. I had an entire team, and it taught me a lot about discipline, how to think before I act. I had a variety of people, mental health people and legal people. They just really helped me to better understand my consequences. I really probably wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for them.
It's fairly well documented that any judge that presides over a specialty docket, such as a drug court or a mental health court or some hybrid thereof, finds the highest degree of professional satisfaction from that, because you actually feel like you're making a positive impact in people's lives. In a mental health court program, you're doing the follow-up, you're seeing the evolution of the person as they become stable in their sobriety. Many times, if they have a co-occurring alcohol or drug problem, you're seeing the stabilization of their medical treatment in their lives. You just see their outward blooming. Many times they're able then to become productive, employable. So it's, very much professionally satisfying. You're stabilizing these folks. You're keeping them hopefully out of your jail, or you're at the very least, you're widening the gap of time between the episodes. You're reducing the severity of the decompensation episodes. So those are all reasons that I think it's a winning proposition for people in the criminal justice system.
With respect to my role as the presiding judge of the tip court team, I see myself as the leader of the team, the facilitator of the team in the context of being the final, decision maker with respect to the outcome of particular cases. When we staff a case, we will have a very open and honest conversation among all the team members from the different perspectives of the justice professionals and the clinical professionals. And oftentimes there will be some disagreement, sometimes very, sharp disagreement among different team members as to the appropriateness of a particular individual for the court. And in those circumstances, the ultimate decision about whether or not someone becomes a participant falls on my shoulders. I feel it's also my responsibility to try to keep the lines of communication open among the team members, to resolve any kind of disputes, to intervene if I sense that participants are trying to split the team and turn team members one against the other, to try to ensure that the information that we get is as complete as it can be, understanding that within the context of therapeutic relationships, some information has to be safeguarded by the therapist to maintain the integrity of the relationship, and also to try to give the justice perspective without overwhelming the therapeutic side of the court, always looking for kind of that blended response. So I guess in all, I try to look at all aspects of the court, and I feel it's my responsibility to make the court function as best it can.
I see my role in the mental health court as not causing too many problems for treatment. I don't consider myself to be a treatment provider, but I am there to make sure they're following the terms and conditions of probation. And then if they're not compliant, then I'm addressing sanctions or consequences for their non-compliant behavior. Of course, those decisions are made primarily as a group with the mental health court team. Everyone has some input. You try to think of sanctions that are going to benefit the participant to where it's going to be conducive to further treatment, further participation in the mental health court. And of course, I'm the one that carries the hammer and have the force behind the sanctions, and so that's part of primarily what I do at the mental health court.
My name is Penny Shaw. I'm a deputy prosecuting attorney with Bonneville County. I see my role as a prosecutor as representing the people of Bonneville County and the state of Idaho. That to me means that I represent not only victims in crimes, but everyone, which includes the defendants. So every case that I approach, I try to look at how am I best going to help not only the victims, but also the defendant in the end. That may mean a sentencing recommendation geared towards best helping that particular person. In some cases, that means trying to have them apply to a problem-solving court. In other cases, that means having them either sent to local jail or off to prison. It just depends, because again, I have to factor protection of the community and the victim in everything that I do as a prosecutor. But I do think it includes how I approach what happens with the defendant as well.
My name is John Thomas. I'm a criminal defense attorney with the Bonneville County Public Defender's Office. My role as far as mental health court goes, I carry a felony caseload with Judge Tingey, one of the judges, one of the district judges here in the county. Mainly what I do when I have a issue with a mental health client that would be good for mental health court, we put them through the problem-solving court application. The first screener is always the defense attorney. We have the most contact with the client, and when we're speaking with the client, we ask them questions about their mental health status, whether their background, how they grew up, those kinds of things.
Eric Olson, I'm the coordinator for the Bonneville County Mental Health Court. I'm responsible for coordination of the team, succession planning with the team, data outcomes collection, problem solving, really general problem solving, making sure team players are getting along. If team players have issues that need resolved, I would be the one to help resolve those. Coordinating applications to the court, who's applied, who's denied, who's accepted, tracking how they progress through the court.
I keep everybody speaking, competitors at the same table. You know, one partner drops off, we have to re-engage. Another partner drops off, we have to re-engage. But I try to keep everybody on a level playing field, speaking the same language, committed to the same goal, which is serving the population that we serve.
I do have a lot of interaction with the clients. Most of our clients, because they're so chronically ill, attend treatment 5 days a week, from about 9 in the morning to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I see them every Thursday morning when they report to court, and then throughout the week at different times, setting up appointments or going out in the community and meeting them. Part of my job is helping them secure benefits, so I'll meet them at the Social Security office with their file and their records and help them navigate the system there. Go with them to probation for orientation. Accompany them to a doctor's appointment just to get clarification on what the doctor says if there's a medical issue and they're not able to understand fully what the doctor is telling them. But I do have a lot of interaction with the clients.
But what I've found over time is we all do what we do. Judges judge, prosecutors prosecute, defense attorneys defend, clinicians treat people. And what the benefit of one of these programs is that you have that overarching case management piece where it's somebody's job to make sure people don't fall in the cracks between those services. And that has made a huge impact in our program.
My name is Paul Maggio. I am a misdemeanor probation officer in a mental health court. My role is that I supervise the misdemeanor offendants that are in the program, and then also work with the ACT team as well as the felony probation officer, judge, and vocational rehabilitation. My responsibility is to make sure they are in compliance with their sentence and conditions of probation, and then also the specific agreement of supervision that we establish as part of the mental health court. And I think there is the reality that many probation officers or correctional officers will see it as a hug a thug kind of a approach, and I think you really have to look at the bigger picture and objective of what am I trying to accomplish. And there's two ways. I mean, it's kind of that honey or vinegar kind of a mentality, and sometimes honey does work better, and you got to look at that. Yelling at people isn't going to get more compliance necessarily, and it's realizing that some people it's a struggle for them and their mental health issues, and realizing you got to use the right balance to kind of get what you want. I'm still going to get the same objectives accomplished, meeting my case plan, getting core conditions met, getting them to graduate, and sometimes you have to take a different paradigm of going about making that happen.
I'm Janelle Eggleston, and I am the ACT team liaison / coordinator of the mental health court. I'm responsible for providing treatment for our participants who have serious and persistent mental illness, coordinating their care, managing medications and treatment. I see my role as, again, an advocate for our participants to help them through the court process, to answer questions, be a support to them, just overall help them meet their needs and help them to be able to communicate their concerns with the judge, with probation.
The peer specialist has been there, they've done that, and they're back helping other people to achieve the things that maybe them themselves have achieved as being trained as a peer specialist. Sometimes I'll have one of them come to me and say, you know, Sil, I'd much rather talk to you than I would talk to so-and-so, because you've been there, you've done that, you've been through it. And that helps me to help them to want to be better. And it's not that I can tell them what they need to do, because I can tell them all that I want. That's not necessarily means that that's what they're going to do. You know, I try my best to show them what they need to do and how they need to do it to better their lives. And I think the most rewarding piece is that, of course, I love to give back the knowledge and what I've learned through going through mental health court and being trained as a peer specialist. I want to give that to you. And I guess the biggest thing is to watch somebody who's doing not so good in the program and me there helping them along and kind of showing them how to do things. And then in the end, watch them get that certificate of completion from mental health court.
One of the things that I'm proud of with Kalamazoo is that we've incorporated peer support specialists in our program. These are people who have mental health concerns, substance abuse concerns, and previous engagement in the criminal justice system that have been vetted, have been interviewed. They have a very powerful role within our court. They act as our clerks. They provide wellness recovery action planning, RAP. They do home visits. They are the person that you may report to if you get a sanction such as day reporting to a mental health facility to work on your recovery. But they've been an essential component of our court. And it helps us kind of define our recovery path, that broad paradigm that we adopt to help the people that we're charged with helping.